What's up, guys? What I wanted to do in this video is to show you my Springfield Operator 1911. This is one that has not been on the channel before, and I thought that I would do a quick video on the takedown of this particular gun. I know it is a little bit different than some of the other 1911s that are out there on the market. This is a very nice gun. This is a very well made, high quality firearm. My particular model does have the accessory rail. Of course, this gun also has the Trigicon night sights. That's the sights that are currently on this gun, and they are perfect with this gun. I know that there are some out there that will actually have a fiber optic sights. I'm not a big fan of the fiber optics. There's a tendency for those tubes to get lost or broken, and I know they're easily replaced, but just a preference of mine, I like this type of a sight. You know, it has the tritium insert inside there, and for me, I think that this is a much better sight. So what I'm going to do is just basically show you the field stripping of this particular gun. It is just a little bit different, like I had mentioned earlier. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to show you that there is no ammo in the magazine, and also the chamber is clear as well. And if you get your hands on one of these guns, one thing that you're really going to notice is just exactly how tight the frame to slide fit is. It does have just a very slight amount of wiggle room that you can feel in some of these, but at the same time, this is an extremely tight gun. Now, I have had my hands on some custom models that do not have any play whatsoever, but the play in this is so light you're not going to notice it. And just the way this gun feels, it is very comfortable in your hands. I did not change out the grips on this gun like I have on some of my others. I really like the way that these grips look on this gun. But just to show you what we're going to be doing, this particular model, it's a little different on taking it down when it comes to the barrel bushing and the guide rod. You need just a little bit more than a barrel bushing wrench to take this one apart. It actually comes with the gun. There's an Allen wrench, because the way that you get this gun apart is you're going to take your Allen wrench and the front of the guide rod on this particular model, you're going to insert your Allen wrench and you're going to rotate that out. Okay, again, it is just a little bit different, and there are some models of these that have the bull barrel that are there's another tool that you use for those. I'm going to be doing another video in the future that details those and how you take those apart. But once you loosen that, you simply pull that guide rod out just like that. Okay, it's that simple. From here on out, what you need to do, it's basically standard 1911 disassembly. Now, just using the base of the magazine, I'm just going to slightly depress the button here, of what would normally be the button. And I'm going to put my thumb over it, and I'm going to rotate the barrel bushing clockwise. Now, on this particular model, this is a very tight fit. It is not like some of the other models out there where there's a little bit of slop. This one does have a very tight fit. Once I get that loose, it's just, I flip the gun around and I simply will make sure that I am able to pull this back slightly. I need to line up that notch with my slide stop. Okay, so I pull that back and get that in alignment, just like so. And then from the back side here, this little bump right here, I'm going to push that, and it is going to raise this up to where I can get it out. And again, this gun is a very tight gun. You got to get that lined up just right. And once I get that through, I pull the slide stop completely out. Once I have it completely out, I simply push the slide off of the frame. Here is my frame. Here is my recoil spring and the other half of my guide rod. In the future, I may change this out where I can simply have a regular button in the front of this instead of this little apparatus here. I just have not done that, but that is something I may do in the future. My barrel bushing, I'm simply going to rotate it all the way over counterclockwise, and I'm going to slip it right out of the gun, lay it down, and now I can pull my barrel just straight out of the front of the slide, just like that. Okay, and you can see that this gun is a very well made gun. It is not very dirty, but I do want to clean it. I have been wanting to clean this for just a bit and decided that it was time. And I know for some of you all out there, you may not be familiar with this particular model, so I thought that this will be a great time just to kind of show it to you, and as well as show you how you can disassemble it. Like I say, you know, this one comes apart just a little bit easier, or just a little bit different. So once we've done that, I'm going to break out my rim oil, because this gun is not very dirty, so it's not going to need a lot of attention. I'm going to start with the barrel. I'm just going to give it a spritz down in there, just like so. Set it aside. I'm going to take my slide, and I don't like spraying back, you know, into this area here directly. I really don't like taking the risk of getting a lot of buildup inside where my firing pin is. Now you can take that apart and clean it, which I'm not going to be doing that, but I am just going to be spraying just like this, just up here the rails, just like so. Set that aside. I'm going to be doing the same with the frame. Pick the frame up. I'm going to spray those rails real good. I want to spray all over down in here. And of course, rim oil is an oil as well as a solvent, so it's two purposes in one can. You know, it does lubricate as well as cleans. Now that I've got that done, I'm going to take a brush like this. Again, I'm just going to let the barrel set for a bit, because that's usually where I get the most buildup, is on your barrel. And since this gun is not very dirty, I'm just going to start with the frame and just get right in here on that frame rail. Take my brush and just brush that real good and clean all of the deposits out from inside those rails. Turn it around, scrub it a bit more. Okay, flip over the other side and just really give the whole frame good brushing. Get down inside that mag well. Don't leave any kind of buildup or anything like that in the mag well or any other part of your gun. You know, keep it good and clean. Reach for the slide. Inside the rails on that slide, I'm just going to pull some of that solvent back towards the back of the slide, just like so. Scrub in there real well, both sides. And you want to pay particular attention to the breech face. You want to get in there real good, make sure that you get any buildup out of there, and you pay particular attention to the ejector. Okay, you want to make sure that you get that clean real good. If you get any kind of a buildup in there, it can cause you some ejection problems. So a brush like this, just get right in there and scrub it right out. Any kind of a buildup can cause you an issue. You know, you don't want to be shooting your gun and have ejection issues or any malfunctions. In a gun like this, they're a very reliable gun, a very well made gun, and if you take care of them, they're going to perform much better. I'm going to set that aside. I'm just going to take my barrel, and I'm going to take the brush, and this gun did come with a brush in with the kit, so I'm simply going to take that, run it inside that barrel just to make sure that I break up any kind of a buildup. Just like that. As you're cleaning it, it's a good idea to look over the barrel, to look over the different components, make sure that there is no cracks, no missing screws, anything like that. Make sure that anything that you find that needs to be repaired should be repaired. Now, there are patch holders out there for your cleaning kits, but one thing that I'll do a lot of times is I'll simply take one of these patches and just simply put it over the brush, just like so, and then run that back through that barrel. Of course, that time it just pulls straight through, no big deal. Lay it over it again. And run it through a couple of times. Maybe run a couple of patches through, but you can see this gun is not very dirty. I mean, it's just not dirty at all, hardly. This is just a good cleaning that I wanted to do on this gun, and just to get it in just a little bit more of a pristine condition with everything going on. I don't believe I'm going to be shooting this very much, so if you've watched any of my other videos, you know that I like to take care of my guns, and I like to, if I'm going to be storing one for a while, I will put it up just a little bit wet. You know, I'll have just a little bit of a coating of oil on it, even though it's not necessary. It's just something that I do. So I'm going to take this, the little spritz on a couple of the other small parts, just like so, and just wipe them off. I'm also going to go down inside here, just take a piece of the paper towel, because you can get a little bit of buildup inside these, and you do not want to have anything getting into the action of that firearm. You can see there we did get a little bit of goo out of there. So just turn that over, run that paper towel up in there just a little, twist it around, and you can use your brush, but this seems to work fine. And usually don't get a lot of buildup inside these, but you do get some. You can see a little bit more there. I'm going to set that aside. Guide rod. Let's go ahead and get us a fresh paper towel. Spray that down. It's a good idea to wear gloves when you're doing this, but you know, kind of help keep some of the solvents off your skin. Set that down. Now the barrel bushing, just kind of wipe it off. Again, check to make sure that there are no cracks or anything on it, because again, if you are looking these over good and you do find a problem, it's better to take care of it now than to have a failure later, which with this gun, there's no problem with them. I mean, they're a very reliable gun. The Springfield Operator is just, it's a beast of a firearm. Very happy with it. And there we go. Something else that I will do a lot of times as well is I will simply take some Q-tips. I keep just a Ziploc bag of them in my cleaning kit, and the rails on the frame as well as the slide, you can see there that buildup that come right off. Okay, I'll clean that out real well. You know, as I've mentioned earlier, if I'm not going to shoot one for a while, I do like to take it and clean it real well before I put it up Let's go to the other side just to get some of this stuff out. And we just keep going. We get the slide, and that buildup in there, it will amaze you at how much stuff can collect inside that slide if you don't clean it out every now and then. I've seen guns where the owners would clean them and think that they're clean, and I would take a Q-tip and run down that slide, down that rail, and it would just be filthy, much dirtier than this. You know, that's something that I do in some of my classes just to help people learn how to properly clean their guns. And you can see here the amount of buildup that we're getting. Let's give everything a good wipe down. Now we're ready to reassemble, and what I'm going to do there is simply take my slide, and I like to put just a little bit of lube down there, especially where the locking lugs are. You can put some on the barrel as well. Take my barrel, slide it in place just like that. Make sure that you put some lube on that link. And yeah, I'm using quite a bit, but that's just fine. Set my guide rod back in there. I'm going to take the frame, put some lube on my rails on both sides, and when you've got your gun apart, make sure that you don't fire the gun with it apart like that. You don't want that hammer coming up and striking that frame. And this gun is very tight. When you put these back together, you can really tell. Okay, now I want to line up that link with the hole right here. Get it started, and you can see, if I can get it in the camera just right, you can kind of see where that link is. So what I want to do now is take my slide stop, start it in there, wiggle it just a little bit, and get it started just like that. I do not want to cause an idiot scratch on my gun, so I'm going to carefully pull the slide back to line that notch up, and I'm going to put this into position close as possible. Now I'll try to pinch it just a little bit just to keep from scratching the frame as much as possible. I do not like, if I can avoid it, I'm going to keep from scratching the frame on any of my guns, even though my guns do get used. And you can tell, get that lined up just right, push that in. It's like so. Until it snaps all the way in. Okay. Now, I'm going to take my barrel bushing with a little bit of lube on it and put it back in place. You'll notice the notch that is right here. When I put it back onto the gun, slide that in, that notch is going to be facing down. You just wiggle it a little, and then you can press it on in. And then once you get it all the way flush, rotate it all the way over just like that. Now take this, keep it pointed away from you, and we're going to push this down and get it close into position. And you can see there I've got the barrel bushing rotated slightly to where it's going to capture that. Now I'm just going to take my base of my magazine again. I'm just going to push that slightly and rotate it just a little bit more. You can see there that it is now over top of that. I continue to rotate until it snaps back into position. Okay, now it's back into position. I can take my guide rod and thread it back in. I simply drop it back in place, just like that, wiggle it down in, get it started, take the Allen wrench, and you do not want to over tighten these. Just snug it down real well. You should not have any issues with it, but it is a good idea to periodically check it just to make sure that it has not come loose. Just wipe everything down. Now let's function test. Our safety is on. Hammer did not fall. Disengage the safety. Press the trigger without the grip safety being depressed. It does not fall. Press the grip safety, press the trigger. Hammer falls. That is a sweet trigger on this gun. Holding that trigger back, cycle that action back. Release, listen for the click. Okay. Works very well. And again, guys, this is just an absolutely beautiful gun. It is one of a few that I have that are a true pleasure to own, and that's why I wanted to clean it just to keep it looking nice. Again, this is the Springfield Operator. Great gun. A very, very well made gun. It only comes with the 7-round mags, but I've got some other magazines that work well in this gun. But guys, that is just a basic field strip and cleaning of the Springfield Operator. Let me know your thoughts about these guns down in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you think of them. But guys, hope you liked the video. Let me know your thoughts about this gun down in the comments below. I know there's some people out there that may not like Springfield, but these are a very, very nice firearm. But guys, anyways, thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Be sure to check out all of the links down in the description. Be sure to subscribe if you're new here. Check out the rest of the videos on my channel. Please share the videos. It helps to overcome some of YouTube's shadow banning. And we'll see you next time.